independents of the state don't want it. The realistic Democrats in the state, they don't want it either. But it is a message that they are being forced so far left, so far radical left. And instead of actually understanding that, again, we talk about it all the time, the job as an elected official, it's bigger than ourselves. It is not about us as individuals. It's not just about our personal politics. For me, it's about 1.35 million people that I represent every single day. And when I see the members in the House and the Senate, the members in the House and the Senate on the Republican side, they get it. They get it very clearly. The Democrats are afraid. They're panicking. They're rushing so far left because they're trying to appease something down in Washington, D.C., and we all know that doesn't work. New Hampshire is about New Hampshire. The 603 is about the 603. We are the gold standard in this country of how to do civics, political service, individual service to our communities. We are that gold standard, and we've held the line for decades. We're in a little bit of a blip right now. There's no doubt about it, right? We've got to lick our wounds a little bit for some of the grassroots efforts that, again, didn't quite get it done in November, but that's okay. We have enough votes to hold the line. My vetoes are veto-proof when we stay together. And I want to remind folks what it felt like when we stood together. When we stood together, we made sure Bill Gardner is the Secretary of State. On that day, the minority was the majority. And the Democrats looked around the room and said, uh-oh, these guys are staying together. These guys are a force to be reckoned with. They have a voice. We can't just steamroll right over them. Now, they heard that message, they listened for about 2 seconds, and then they went back doing the same old thing. That's fine. We'll roll over them again, and again, and again. Because let's remember, it is not about just the party. The party has to be strong because we have an obligation to the state that we love. There is a reason why young families are moving into New Hampshire more now than in the past decade. There is a reason why our population is growing faster than Massachusetts, why businesses are flooding in here, why when we cut taxes and do regulatory reform and stay true to our values, it works. The economy works. It creates opportunities for families, for individuals. And actually, by cutting taxes and doing what not just I've done, but what you have done in the legislature over the past 2 years, we've created as strong of an economy this state has ever seen, and that creates opportunity at the state level. That's how you get it done. This isn't about false promises. The model worked. Cutting taxes, focusing on business and families as individuals, focusing on education, not as a system, but as individuals, putting kids first, it worked. Their model of raising taxes, spending beyond their means, look what happened back in 2008, 2009, 2010. We hit almost $1 billion in the red because their model was such a failure. Do you think that message doesn't resonate with the state of New Hampshire? Of course it does. So let's remember, what we do today is about keeping our party strong, about driving with a strong message, about getting things done over the next 2 years, not just for the Republicans, but because we carry that obligation for the rest of the state. It's something I know you all take incredibly seriously. Now, we're going to have the elections today. I've been out to a variety of the different county meetings out there. We've been electing our county chairs and vice chairs. We're going to bring in our new chairperson, our vice chair. I guess our vice chairwoman. I think that's pretty much a guarantee, one of them, which is great. Right? We're going to have some new faces in the party. That is opportunity. That is an opportunity. I can work with anyone. I can work with anyone, and anyone who becomes the chairperson or the vice chair today, we're gonna build a great team. I have no doubt about that. But let me be very straight about something else. The days of doing it as we have done it are done. They are done. If you're in this room, a lot of you have been in this room for many, many years. And you've given everything. You've given your time. You've given your effort. You've written checks. You've gone out there and knocked on doors. You've gotten on the phones. And we need all that. We need that even more powerful now than ever before. But structurally, inherently structurally within the party, we're going to make some very serious changes. We need to run this as a professional organization because that's the responsibility we have to handle. The days of scrambling scrambling in late May and early June to find candidates to maybe fill seats are done. We're recruiting today. We've already started. We have already started that process. We're going to have not just a full slate, but a strong slate well before the filing deadline. We're going to have money in the bank. We're going to raise it in Washington, in New Hampshire. I don't care where it comes from. We're raising the funds because we have the message, right? This is not some foreign concept message for New Hampshire. We got the message. We have the record of success. But you do need the money. You do need the professional organization to get it out at a very targeted level. And you got to know who you're talking to, right? We're going to do a deep dive and really understand. And we're already pretty much there, by the way. I can tell you almost to a T who's voting in 2020. I can tell you who we have to go after, who we've already gotten, right? Who's on the line? Who are the conservative Democrats who say, I don't want to be part of this radical left-wing agenda? Republican Party, give us something to drive forward on. We can do it. And we'll identify them not as just a town and a county, but as individuals. And we'll talk to them as individuals because we govern as individuals. And when you carry that practice into the messaging, that's how we're going to be successful. Now, I got to tell you, we've basically been a volunteer organization for decades. We got to amp it up a little bit. And we have people that are passionate. They'll volunteer. There'll be area chairs and vice chairs and all of this. That's wonderful. Town chairs. But let's talk about money for a second. If you are not willing to raise or give some money, you better reconsider what you want to do with leadership in this party. It is about the dollars. Make no mistake about that. And I'm not saying only the rich have to come in here. Go out there and knock on doors. Ask for $5 from a local town chair. Ask for 10. It matters. We've all gotten the emails, right? Hey, just donate $5 to the cause, $10 to the cause. And you always have that 2 seconds where you go, $5, what's that really going to do? Trust me, it works. National campaigns have been driven on $5 at a time. That's okay. When we do that, when we focus on that, when we don't just say, well, why aren't you raising money? Why isn't the chairperson getting it done? Why isn't the vice chair getting it done? We all have to take responsibility in raising money, bringing awareness. Because guess what you do? When you ask someone for $5 and they pull that $5 out of their pocket and make that investment, well, that's an investment. It's not charity. They're investing in the future. They're banking on the Republicans to go forward. And guess what? They're going to go find 5 or 10 friends just to put a couple bucks in. And they find 5 or 10 friends to back up that investment, right? It works. But we have to understand this is a professional organization. Every town chair, every county chair, every area chair, every area vice chair has to be committed to the singular objective. It doesn't mean we can't have groups here and there doing different things. Of course, that's fine. But at the end of the day, we have to believe that the party can drive forward. The Democrats have been doing that for 2 decades, and they're successful with it. You cannot knock their success politically. Practically speaking, they get in the State House, they don't know what the hell to do. But let me tell you, running campaigns is a lot different than running government. And they run their campaigns pretty well. I give them a lot of credit. I do. They run a professional, tight organization. They trust in their system. They believe in their system. The money, the messaging flows up, and then it comes down to everybody else. It builds up the grassroots. They're aggressive with recruiting early on. They go after folks that are going to put in the time and effort. You don't wait till September and October to go run your campaign. You start back in May and June. And you knock on doors, and you work with nonprofits, and you go to the Chamber of Commerce. These are the things that we've used to do really well, but we kind of took for granted. We've got a great message. We've got great people. We need the funds, the resources, and the professionalism to drive forward. And I think with the folks that you're going to be voting on today, any of them will be able to deliver on that. And I'm going to take full responsibility, driving forward. Look, as the last Republican standing, as the last guy holding the line, I take that challenge on. And when we're successful in 2020, we're all going to be singing each other's praises because we got it done as a party and as a team. Stay with us strong. Do what you got to do. We're going to ask a lot of you. We're going to ask all of you who have been part of this to do a little bit more, to get out of your comfort zone. Because when we sat in our comfort zone, it didn't quite work. Get out of your comfort zone. Challenge yourself. Challenge your constituencies. Push that message, right? Find the 5 or 10 phone numbers and call certain folks that you've never spoken to before. If we're just talking to ourselves, we're just talking to ourselves. There's 1.35 million people that are counting on us to talk to them and understand what their needs are. Let that translate to good policy, and we drive forward. And I'm proud today, just to get things off. Wayne, you're still chairman, right? $5,000 right there. We all got to take responsibility, and I guarantee you, we do that, 2020 is going to be phenomenal. Thank you guys very much. Let's get out there and get this done.
It'd be nice if everybody who comes up here to speak today would do that. Thank you, Governor. Thank you very much for that speech. Thank you for your leadership. And yes, thank you for your money.
GOP TV.